Welcome to 5 Good Minutes.
You're listening to today's inspirational message on the book of Hebrews
with Kurt Bjorklund.
I want you to imagine with me for a moment, or remember with me if it's possible for you, that you're about to get your first house. Now, some of you have the actual experience. Some of you who are listening have yet to have your first house. But there's something in that house that the first time you're an owner, not a renter, you're not living with your parents, that you start to feel a responsibility and an ownership and a pride and a permanence and a sense of stewardship for something that you haven't felt before. And even when you get your first place to rent, you feel it a little bit, but nothing like when you own. And there's something that happens in Hebrews 2 that is really striking. In verses 5 and following, we get a quote of Psalm 8. It says this, it says, "It's not to the angels that he subjected the world to come about which he was speaking, but there is a place where someone has testified," which is Psalm 8, "What is mankind that you're mindful of them, the Son of Man that you care for him? You made them a little lower than the angels and crowned them with glory and honor, but you put everything under their feet." And then it says this, and this is the comment, the interpretation. "In putting everything under them, God left nothing that is not subject to them." Who's the them? It's not the angels. It's the Son of Man. It's people. It's you and me, and it's followers of Jesus ultimately. And then it says, "Yet at present, we do not see everything as subject to them, but we do see Jesus, who was made a little lower than the angels for a little while, not crowned with glory and honor because he suffered, so that by the grace of God he might taste death for everyone." We'll talk about tasting death for everyone tomorrow, but today I want us just to focus on this idea of everything subject to the sons of man and the Son of Man. This is God's statement that you, if you are his child, ultimately are destined to be ruling this world the way that it ought to be. I use the analogy of the house at the beginning, just saying you feel a new sense of responsibility. And in some ways, this world can feel like it's not ours. And yet that is exactly what God created it for and will one day restore it to. But it's really significant, this little phrase, "Yet at present we do not see everything subject to them." Now, some people would read this and say, well, that was when this was written, but now everything should be subject to them. And if you would simply step into your destiny, then you can rule over everything now. But what it says is, "Yet at present we do not see everything subject to them." And I believe that this is, although written in the time of the New Testament, is still the time we're living in. And it says, "But we do see Jesus." And that contrast is substantial to be able to say, when you feel frustrated by the way the world is functioning, by the things that are not as they should be, by the lack of a seeming God who's in control and the goodness of that God, what you can do is say, everything is destined to be as it should be. And there's coming a day when I will be part of what can shape what this world is. And not just me as I am, because that's a little scary, but me in my perfected state. But now we see Jesus. And so our hope is to say, it is Jesus who shows us what it will be, how it will be, and that it will be. And if we see that, then we can live with a sense of hope and certainty in a world in which we don't see everything as subject to him. And back to the house analogy, it's a little bit like saying, I've already closed on the house. I know it's coming, but I'm not there yet. And so I'm living, making choices and preparing for what it will be to have it. And yet there's an element in which I have some of it right here and now. And the house analogy isn't perfect, I get it, but it's this, the world, it has been put in subjection to you through the work of Jesus Christ, but it isn't seen now, but one day it will be seen fully, and that is to be savored. And so how are you living today differently because you know that the world will one day be completely subject to the desires of the God of the universe, knowing that you can see Jesus and what he has brought.
Thanks for joining us here today. There's a lot of great content to explore on Orchard Hill Plus and on the Orchard Hill main feed from the weekend. Have a great day.